tired. I've been on this plantation all my life. I've been enslaved all my life. I'm tired of being pushed and pulled. I'm tired of the master doing his bidding. I want to leave.
You're doing this to yourself, Pats.
You know why we're not afraid? What? He's great in Turbot. Turbor's destruction. Y'all think it come back in all peace? You got another thing coming. So we out here fighting for our brother. We ain't marching saying, yes, we can. No justice, no peace. Yo! Fight for your sons and your daughters.
I'm not wrapped too tight. Got 400 years on my back. I'm angry dog. I'm black like that. Won't contact with you whites. And all the niggas I stand here with, they share my same sentiment. I'm fucked up tonight. Won't kill my brothers no more. Want all the smoke, motherfucker popo. This is my battle cry. Isaiah 14:21, that ancient version of that gun that they stole our name, they stole our shit. We real Judites, motherfucker Jewish. We lords, generals, arm your soldiers. We fight tonight like we supposed to. They inherited lies. I'm referring to all whites. I'm referring to riches, white privilege, given through genocide. And they gotta pay for that. God say Jacob gon' take it back. I cry aloud, I spare not. This good bread, my sharecrop. This lily grew through concrete. We march to our own drum beat. We the chosen. No inclination to kick it with y'all. Raise Babylon to the ground, then watch it fall. Obadiah said you'll be wiped up for theft. These are just words, worry about what come next. It's for Negroes, Latinos, we better than all, not equal. My natives no red dot that feather. Me primo be smooth like that leather. Until it's time to bring the war dogs out, put the headdress on. War paint and I'm not wrapped too tight. Got 400 years on my back. I'm angry dog, I'm black like that. Won't contact with you whites. And all the niggas I stand here with, they share my same sentiment. I'm fucked up tonight. Won't kill my brothers no more. Want all the smoke, motherfucker popo. This is my battle cry. I got the spirit of grandfathers past. Front porch sitters, Nat Turner dangerous. A real life illustration of angry and that painting. Of Malcolm staring out the window with patience. One hand on the curtain, right hand on the AK spits. 47 rounds, all to bring down Satan. Same way Abel was killed by Cain. This will be an introduction from the fuck shit into the fire. Probably join the list of artists who died before they retired. Most High said I'm hired. Sire will never spit a line aimed at my kind, less meant to uplift. Toughness will be redefined in my rhymes. A squad of men with the spirit of God, with an affinity to point their weapons not at the brethren but at the enemy. Khaki colored kids, baptized in the flames of combat, fashioned in the trap we escaped. Our fate was to be great and noble. Moses reincarnate, so be hopeful and know I bring word from A and O to Pharaoh and white folk. Let my people go, cause
What's up, guys? It's not blessed. Damn, I like that song, man. That song is fire, brothers and sisters. But glad y'all enjoyed the video when I went on saw that other night. Good reviews. Hey, somebody got feedback. No, it's fixed now. Okay.
But the video.
I think Lee, you might have another page open.
Hey, somebody got feedback.
I think you got another page open. Close.
Right. The video. I think Lee, you might have.
Okay.
Good.
Yep, that's good.
That was me.
All right. Now you know this is gonna be good because every time Lee came on here, we had the same issue all the time.
Oh, right. I can't get it right.
So I'm starting to think, hey, brothers and sisters, I'm starting to think Professor Lee Cummings is superstitious.
Hey, man. Hey, man, you know, it's going down. You know that.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, Most High bless the bar.
Hey, Shalom, everybody. Shalom. I want to say, first of all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Shout out to Elder Qanath. Shout out to the mighty Professor and Elder Lee Cummings out here, man. This is going to be a lovely one.
Here we go.
And I want to say also, shout out, much love to Jason Phillip, Star, Lima, Kush African, Tazadat Comer, all the F.O.P.E family, Sharsham, Anthony, everybody, nothing but love and respect. And we got a really good one for y'all tonight. So get ready. That's all for me.
No doubt. So I would like to thank the family in the comments section. Can't name everybody, but of course I got to do Star and Lima, looking for Wiz One. All y'all, man. Most High bless every single one of you. And we got another good one for you. So without further ado, we're going to let the professor take over. And it's yours.
Okay, well, hey, I first want to say, you know, we want to thank the brothers for letting us come on and do this piece. This is a real critical lesson for all you Hebrews out there because there are a group of organizations that's in the news every day. One, the European Common Market, what they call the European Union. We're going to show you that the European Union, the Vatican, Russia, China, Belarus, North Korea, and those nations around the world, Syria, and those nations around the world constitute what the book of Revelation called the kings of the East. We're going to show you that even though the West is saying peace, that the weapons that they provide for the Ukrainians are for defensive purposes, we're going to show you the Lord has already had it written that the West, the European Union, NATO, and America, they are going to attack Russia first. They are basically attacking Russia by putting the weapons in the hands of the Ukrainians, but they're going to attack Russia first, and we're going to show you, and you ain't going to believe this, but according to the prophet Joel, Russia is the Lord's army. So the title of this lesson is The Kings of the East. Who's the reader tonight?
It'll be me, sir.
Okay. All right, brother. So let's open this up and let's get straight to it. We're going to open this up, and I want to go to Revelation, the 6th chapter, point something out, but I'm not going to focus on those scriptures because we don't have that kind of time. But we're going to go to Revelation 6 and make a point. The 6th chapter talks about Yahweh receiving a book with 7 seals, and I want to read that. I'm not going to read about the seals. You can do that on your own time, but I'm going to show you something. Pick it up at Revelation 5 and 1, sir.
Okay, 6 and 1 or 5 and 1?
5 and 1.
Yes, sir. All right, so let me go back 1 second. All right, so this is the book of Revelations, chapter 5 and verse 1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? Verse 3. And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. Verse 4. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, have prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
So he said one of the elders said what? One of the elders in Aramaic or ancient Hebrew, elder is Zakana. Zakana. So one of the Zakana, the elders. Hey, the root of David, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, have prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Let's get a description of this this individual from the tribe of Judah, who is not a man, because the book said no man could open this book or loose the seal. So we know for a fact, whoever this is, he is no longer, or he is not a man. Let's pick this up, read verse 6.
Yes, sir. Revelation chapter 5 and verse 6. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Yahweh sent forth into all the earth.
So he said he saw what? He saw a lamb. Now we're not gonna read all this because some of you all are supposed to be you're a Hebrew Israelite. You're supposed to know the script, and you know that when John saw Yeshua walking by the river Jordan, he exclaimed, "Behold, the Lamb of God, which taketh away the hetat, or the sin of the world." And so he was talking about the one that the Gentiles call Jesus, but the one that we know as Yeshua. We got some people saying, "Well, the testimony, we don't read the New Testament or the testimony." To that I say, well, when does the Old Testament end? Because remember what Yeshua said. Yeshua said, "Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have life, they testify of me." As long as you have animal sacrifice, you are still under the law. Are we in agreement?
Yes, Khan.
So when Yeshua or Jesus walked the earth, they were still doing what? They were still sacrificing. So even though they put the 4 books of the New Testament and they called it the New Testament, those 4 books should have belonged where? With the prophets, the law, the Psalms, and the prophets. Why? They were still offering up sacrifice, y'all.
Khan.
The sacrifice did not end till when? Till Yeshua died on the cross. That is when the New Testament began. But let's go a little further than this. So when John saw him, he said, "Hey, man, behold, Lamb of God, he take away the sin of the world." When he get up out the grave, he go where? He goes straight to the 3rd heaven. Why? Because he had to be accepted by the Father. So the Father had to see the holes that he had in his wrist and in his side, because he was the Father's sacrifice. Abraham and Isaac going up on Mount Moriah was pointing to this sacrifice. But to make a long story short, let's get an eyewitness description of the one that's standing before the Father that took the book out of the Father's hand. Let's see what he looked like when he got up out the grave. Let's go to the 1st chapter of Revelation.
Okay, Khan.
We're going to do this because we got some folk running around here with foolishness and madness. Talking about that Jesus or Yeshua was a white man. That's impossible. The book that I deal with the eyewitness account. Pick it up at Revelation, the 1st chapter. And I'm trying to make this cut all the fat off this. John is on the island of Patmos. It's a penal colony, and on the Sabbath day, which is the day of the Lord. So all you Sunday people out there, the day of the Lord is not Sunday. Yeshua's custom was he went into the temple on what day? The Sabbath day. That's the day of the Lord. When the apostles came through the cornfield, rubbing that corn together, he told them, he said, "Hey, I'm the what? I'm the Lord, or the Yahweh of the Sabbath." If you go back and look at your translations in Aramaic, Lord means Yahweh. Yahweh, or it might say Yahweh Elohim, or Lord God. That's Yahweh Elohim in Aramaic. But let's get a description of the one they call Jesus, or the one we know in Hebrew to be who? Yeshua. Go ahead. Pick it up at verse 12. Revelations 1 and 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation.
Nah. You know what? I like that, though. Go ahead. Read that.
The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
So this book that Yeshua is taken out of the Father's hand, the first chapter is verifying that this is indeed what is taking place. So when you run into a brother, whether he be a Sunday preacher, whether he be a Hebrew, and the brother tell you that he received his inspiration or he received his biblical education sitting on the couch, learning by himself, then you know that is erroneous, because this is the natural order. The Father gave it to Jesus or Yeshua. Yeshua gave it to the angel, and the angel gave it to who? Gave it to the Lord's servant. You need a servant of Yahweh to teach you.
That's right.
Oh, this is the reason why we got all this bad doctrine on the internet right now. We got all these guys that sat somewhere for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they jumped up and ran. And now we got all this confusion out here.
Speak the truth. Yep.
And we can't say it's the Sunday preacher no more. It's everybody. It's the Sunday preacher. It's the young Hebrew. All of us need a teacher. I got a teacher. After all these years, I reluctantly call this dude, but that's my man. So the Lord put the fix in that no matter if you got 20 years in this game, 30 years, if somebody got 50 years. So the guy with the 50 years, that gray head and that wisdom is real. So you got to check in with somebody.
Speak the truth.
Sometime. And I'm going to put an exclamation mark on that. You have to check in with somebody sometime, exclamation. I always say, the guy, you go to the hospital and you need brain surgery. No, you don't. You meet a guy on the corner. He got a sign up, brain surgery. You say, oh, I need brain surgery. And then you stop and say, hey, wait a minute. Who taught you? And the guy says, I'm self-taught. Would you let that guy operate on you?
Eggs, no.
Oh, man. Lee, cut it out.
Are you telling me, man? This is paramount to what's taking place in Israel right now.
Right.
We can't throw that rock at the Sunday preacher no more. It's happening to us.
That's right.
But anyway, let's get a description. Now, you know what? People don't change colors after they die. You don't die a white man and come back and then you get up out the grave a black man. You don't die a black man and get up out the grave as a white man. You retain your skin color. Your hair don't change. You don't go from having straight hair to nappy hair. Whatever you was before you died is what you will be when you get up out the grave. Aesthetically, your physical appearance. So let's read. Pick it up at verse 12.
Yes, sir. The book of Revelation,
Go ahead.
chapter 1, verse 12. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Hey, wait a minute. That was his nickname, right? The Son of Man. So this is John seeing Yeshua after the resurrection. Now watch the eyewitness account. Go ahead.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
He looked like Big Daddy and Granddaddy now. And some of our grandmamas got afros that's white like wool. And so he got nappy hair. Let's see what his flesh, or his, what they say in Aramaic. Let's see what his basher looked like. Go ahead.
Verse 15. In his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. In his voice as the sound of many waters.
He don't have blue eyes. He had eyes that like they had been burned in the furnace. He didn't have white stringy hair. He had an afro, and his skin looked like what? Looked like brass. Unless he was a polka dot god, like a box of crayons.
According to Geo Jennings.
We're looking at what? We're looking at black. I use the phrase in my books. The phrase I like to use is the Jesus of the Bible. And there he is, a black man. But what does his father look like? Well, let's go real quick. So what this got to do with the lesson? Not a whole lot, but I want to add it. So work with me.
In the spirit.
Let's go to Daniel, the 7th chapter, and take a look at the father. Because if you read any of the Apostle Paul's letters, Paul said that Yeshua was a split, or Yahweh was the splitting image of the Father. Let's see if he's telling the truth. Let's go to Daniel 7. Is that 7? Yeah. Yes, pick it up at Daniel 7 and 9.
Yes, sir.
Daniel 7 and 9.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9.
Hold on for a minute. Hey, man, you read so good. You sound like a flight attendant. Sound like we get ready to board a plane. It sounds like that voice is coming through the terminal. You got
hey Lee. Voice, what? Hey Lee, he does, because I think about the man version when you're on the subway and the doors are closing. This proper guy is going on, bro. Everybody know that.
Hey man, he's on the road. Hey, you're doing real good. Keep it up. All right, go ahead. Verse 9. Go ahead.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Wait a minute. You mean the Father got the same type of hair that the Son has? They both what? We're looking at two black gods, but I'm going to make it plain, because we're going to put them both together. And when we put them both together, you got the description of the one they call Jesus in the book of Revelations. And now we're looking at an eyewitness. Now the book say, no man have seen the Father nor heard his voice at any time. The same could be said of Yahweh when he was walking through the wilderness with our fathers. Moses never saw him, because it's written, no man could see Elohim and live, right? So what did Moses see? He saw what they call in Aramaic, Pasal, Tall, Moon Tall, which means he saw, well, it wasn't Pasal because it wasn't the grave image. He saw an image, a likeness. And then a better Aramaic term would be Tal Benaiah Tal, and that would be a likeness. He didn't see him, and so it appears that Daniel was doing the same thing. He's seeing a likeness of the Father, but he didn't see his face. He's only describing what? That afro. Skip down to verse 13.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 13. And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days.
Wait a minute. We already had a description of the Son of Man. He had what? He had like lamb's wool in Revelations 1, 9 through 11 or 13. And now we got a description of the Father. What? Woolly hair. So what does this tell me? This tells me that if I was Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder and I heard me talking, I should be drawing a picture in my mind of what? Two black gods, the Father and the Son. Interesting, ain't it?
That's right.
Powerful.
But now let's keep moving, because I get sleepy.
No, you getting it in.
Yeah, let's go. All right, now I want to go to Revelation, the 6th chapter, and the first. I want to show you. No, I don't want to go there. I want to go to Revelation, the 5th chapter. I want to run back to Revelation. I want to show you the book that he got. How many seals is on this book? Because this is important. Revelation 7, 6, and okay. I want to go back to Revelation 5. And I want to pick it back up at I want to see where the seal's at again. You had this book.
Verse 5.
Yeah, Revelation, the 5th chapter, and verse. And here, let me see. All right, I don't even want to do that. You know why? Because I'd have to. It take too much. But anyway, when you guys get some time, Yeshua, when he got up out the grave, the Father gave him this book. It has 7 seals on it. When you read the 6th chapter of Revelation, we don't have time. You have to do something. You have to participate in your own salvation. When you read that 6th chapter of Revelation, it has 6 seals in it. Now, each one of these seals lasts for 6 months. 6 times 6 is 36. You divide 36 by 12, it comes out to 3 years. So the first 6 seals is equivalent to 3 years of tribulation that's going on through the earth. We ain't got time to read all this. We're going to pick it up at the 7th seal and 7 trumpets and 7 vials of wrath, because it's important that you guys understand who's in play and what they're doing. Let's go to Revelation, the 8th chapter. We'll skip those 5 and 6. We'll go straight to 8. Revelations 8 and 1.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 8 and verse 1. And when he had opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour.
If you got your Bible, you can write in your Bible in chapter 8 that you are now in the 50th year. This constitutes the Jubilee now. You're in the 50th year of the and all these things. I'm gonna tie it together. It's gonna be astonishing. But this is the 50th year. And all these trumpets that are about to blow are gonna blow in the 50th year. But it's only one trumpet we're really concerned about. And that's that last trumpet, that 7th trumpet. But anyway, go ahead.
Verse 2. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before Yahweh, and to them were given 7 trumpets.
Now they got these 7 trumpets. We ain't gonna read all this. Skip down to verse 6.
Verse 6. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound.
Now, let me give you a little insight. There are 7 angels in this 8th chapter with 7 trumpets, but we're gonna pick up another group of 7 angels with 7 vials of wrath. Every time a trumpet is blown, an angel goes out and pours a vial out on the earth. And we're not gonna look at all those because we don't have time. I'm gonna hit you with the first and the second one, and then we're gonna proceed to the 6th one. Again, I tell people all the time, like I know people that live lives, but they don't participate in their own existence. What do I mean by that? You participate in your own existence by what? You help wash clothes. You help wash dishes. You cook sometimes. You take garbage out. That's you participating in your own existence. If you got somebody in your life that refuse to participate in their own existence, you got a problem. And so when it comes to the script, you have to the only way you can participate is by doing research. Is that right?
Yeah, that's deep.
Right.
If you ain't doing no research, you ain't participating. Don't wait on you even if you got a good teacher, you can't wait on him to drop a loaf of bread on the table. You go. You never know. Lord, see you being diligent, he might give you that loaf of bread. We're talking about the script, the word. I know you got some hungry people out here. We ain't talking about food right now. All right, go ahead. So every time a trumpet is blown, A vial of wrath is poured out. We're going to show you that. Let's go.
Verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up.
So now the first trumpet sound. And then now, if you out there and you understand this concept, the art of war, what does a good general do or commander do? You do what? You start destroying those things that your enemy needs to fight a war. So what is the God of Israel doing? He cutting off what? He cutting off their fruit trees. He cutting off grass is the greatest food source in the world for all the animals. The herds and the cattle and the behemoth, the beasts of the field. So he's hitting this man at his food source right at the beginning of the showdown. You don't believe it? You don't believe what I'm telling you is real? What did America try to do to Russia when Russia invaded Ukraine? They did what? Sanctions. So this is the God of Israel's version of sanctions. We're going to go a little further than this. We got the first trumpet. Let's go look at the first vow. Let's go to Revelation 16:1.
All right.
Revelation 16:1. We're going to pick up that first vow. Skip down. Go to 16. Yeah, go ahead. 16:1 works.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple, Salakia, saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. Verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image.
Okay, first vow, first trumpet, first vow. Let's keep a marker right here and go back to chapter 8, Revelation's 8th chapter. Let's pick up the second trumpet again. We're not gonna look at all these trumpets and vows. You have to invest in your own salvation. We don't have time. You know, they don't have time. I could do this all night, but then I get sleepy. Hey, Revelations 8:8.
Yes, sir. The book of Revelation, chapter 8 and verse 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood.
Hey, what do the heathen like to eat? They love their lobster. They love that sea roach, the shrimp. They love eating catfish, all those abominable things that go against the dietary law. So the second thing that the God of Israel does is what? He attacks the marine life, the things that they love, and they shipping. He is starting to cripple their ability to make war against him, to respond to him. Plus, he did something that was really ingenious in the very beginning. He took what? He took the high position, the third heaven. He coming down. Anybody that has the high position, they teach you. You got a 99.999 into infinity chance of winning. But anyway, let's keep going. So the second trumpet sound, and part of the sea became blood. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed.
And there's a reason. Now, when that water turned into blood, a third of man's food source died that was in the sea. And we're going to tell you, there's a reason for that. We're going to let the book tell it. Let's go back to Revelation 16:3. There's a reason why these animals are going to die in the sea. Go ahead.
The book,
Revelation 16:3. Go ahead.
yes, sir. The book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 3. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea.
That's the reason why a third of all the marine life died. What happens to a nefesh when he muta or when he dies? The blood loses what? There's no oxygen in the blood.
Mm-hmm.
So once that the Lord hit them waters with that blood, the water was drained, the oxygen was drained out of that water, and those fish that was in the sea, they drowned because there was no oxygen in the water, y'all. And people say that don't sound plausible. You don't believe it? Russia right now is dropping bombs on the Ukrainian that suck all the oxygen out of an area.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know what I'm talking about.
That's right.
And if man is able to do this, how is it that the man is going to exceed the creator? It's impossible. Well, let's keep going.
And who's doing that work?
Huh?
Who's giving that order and who's pulling it off?
Hey, man, listen. It's going to get deep because we
Yeah.
going to show you. It's going to get deep. It gets deeper. We just right now, only thing I'm doing tonight is I'm sending out a warning to the Hebrews so you don't get caught up. You don't get caught in that net. Look, man, this thing is playing out every day on television. Some folk can't see it because they're so occupied with the materialism of this world. That fiat money, which is fake money, the fake the gold, the fake silver, the fake females.
Teach.
All this stuff that we consume with right now. There's some real sisters out there. We know that. But we got a whole lot of them that's out here perpetrating false everything. But anyway, let's go to Revelations 9:1. I want to pick up the 5th and the 6th trumpet. And there's a reason for that. Because remember, we started when in the introduction, I mentioned the European Common Market, NATO, and we mentioned the Vatican. We're going to bring them into the story now. Why? Because before you can deal with the kings of the East, you got to see who he's been fighting against. Putin has been fighting against the Antichrist and the 10 toes and the 10 horns, which tells me something. If he's winning this war, and remember, he's been fighting NATO and the European Union and the Vatican by himself, the God of Israel has to be on his side. And we're going to show you. The Lord going to say about the mouth of the prophet that Russia is his army. I know this is going to astonish a whole lot of folk. but don't watch TV. Watch me. I'm just kidding. I get a little dramatic. You know what I mean? But anyway,
let's get it.
I've been trying to spice it up where it ain't boring. Y'all know what I mean. The Lord don't like vanity. You know that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Hey, Lee, so maybe Brittany, what's her name? Brittany Griner. Maybe she on to something going to Russia, huh?
Hey, listen to me. Right now, the world's the greatest economy right now. You ain't gonna believe it. Russia. Do you know why? Because Russia got on the gold standard. Russia's back, she's backing all her rubles with gold. America doesn't back the dollar bill. Ain't backed by nothing. It's backed by confidence. You believe this?
That's yeah.
So I don't want to tip my hand. If I tip my hand, my finale ain't gonna be like dramatic. You know what I mean? so I need to slow down a little bit. You're gonna make me sprint. I'm trying to.
I saw you got up.
I'm about to sprint. Revelations 9:1. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 1. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Verse 2. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
Hold on now. Now check this out. Where do we live? We live on a place called Earth, right? Now the book said, now Brother John is on the outer Patmos here in the he's seeing this via vision. He's watching God's version of television. And he said, I saw an angel fall to the earth, and a key was given to him to the bottomless pit. So what is earth really called? It's the bottomless pit. And there's a reason why. Now we're going to keep a marker here because we're going to prove this to you. Let's go to Isaiah, the 14th chapter.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah 14 and 15. Because there was an angel that was cast to the bottomless pit.
That's right.
We're going to tell you, we're going to show you. And we're going to show you his name. Because this dude is the one that's behind the Vatican right now. That's where they got their power from. Skip down to verse, I'll pick it up at verse 12, Isaiah 14 and 12.
Yes, sir. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Hey, that word would be what in Aramaic? Reashon. He was the first, he was probably the first one created, son of the morning, right? Go ahead.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be cut down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Wait a minute. Now, John said that angel, when he came down to earth, he called it the bottomless pit. But Lucifer was cast where? Down here with us. And we're going to show you another scripture to prove that. But he was cast to the what? To the side of the bottomless pit, which is earth. Let's go to Revelation 12 and pick this up. We're going to make it real plain. Revelations 12. Pick it up at verse 7, 12 and 7, because we're going to prove to you that the bottomless pit and earth is one and the same. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Looked like the Father looked around his planet and said, man, where we going to put this dude? And they looked around and said, man, he can't stay up here with us. So they said, okay, we're going to run him. We're going to turn the bottomless pit or earth into a penal colony for the fallen angels. And so the fallen angels are on death row down here. They've been on death row for at least the last 6 days. 1 day to the Lord is what? 1,000 years. Alif Shanhe. 1,000 years, right?
That's right.
And 1,000 years is 1 day. This generation of the earth, we don't know how old the earth is. It could be billions of years old. But this generation is only 6,000 years old. It's like a tree ring, a tree. When a tree falls in your neighborhood, instead of you just walking past it saying, oh, that tree fell, why don't you do something unusual? Why don't you walk over there and count the rings? Each ring in a fallen tree tells you how old the tree is. And so it's the same way with this generation of the earth. The earth is billions of years old, but this generation is only what? 6,000 years old. Y'all feel me?
Yes, sir.
Keep going.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. he was cast out into the earth.
Read that last phrase again.
And
he
the great
and he was cast where?
And he was cast out into the earth.
Well, then the Lord in Isaiah said he was cast to the side of the pit. That's earth. And then the other angel said he came down to the bottomless pit. That's earth. So where are we, y'all? This is the bottomless pit. Earth and the bottomless pit is one and the same. So who is the angel of the bottomless pit? It's Satan, the devil, man. And we're going to go back to Revelation 9th chapter. We're going to make this real plain today. Pick it up at verse 11. Revelations 9 and 11.
Yes, sir. The book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit.
Wait a minute. What's his name? That's Lucifer. Satan the devil, right? They got a what? They had a king. See, this dude run this joint, man. You don't believe it? Go back and read the testimony. The book gives an account where Yeshua was having a conversation with this dude. And he told Yeshua, he said, listen, man, if you fall down the world, he said, he showed him all the kingdoms of the world and its riches and glory in a moment of it, in a moment. He said, man, if you fall down and worship me, all this is yours, buddy. Yeshua said, man, get thee behind me. Get thee behind me, say, look, for it is tempted, and for it is written. You should worship who? Lord thy God. Is that right?
That's right.
That happened. That's an eyewitness account by the apostle. So here we find this guy. This is validating what was written in the testimony. This dude is the king of the earth. Some of you Hebrews, this might comfort you tonight. You might be having it tough right now. And you've been having it tough. You having it tough because you won't bow down to the king of this world. Satan the devil. So you fighting a good fight, whoever you are. Hang on in there. Keep fighting your good fight. People, they caught up, hooked up on this materialism. It ain't going to save you. Billionaires are dying every day. Millionaires are dying. Hey, man, I love me some Kobe. Who would ever thought Kobe would die like he did with all that money? But they keep saying that these people are rich. I always say this. If these people are rich, how come they can't keep themselves alive?
That's right.
If the only rich man I ever knew was Yeshua. Died after 3 days, got up out the grave, and lived again. That's my definition of a rich man. Run that. Shouldn't have said that. But anyway, so now we had to establish this because the West receives their power from Satan the devil. They don't know it though. They, just some regular lames, some lame good folks. They don't believe in the spirit realm. They don't realize that Satan is behind. He's orchestrating this whole movie on earth. Pick it back up from here and pick it up to verse 3.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 9, and verse 3. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. Verse 4. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of Yahweh in their foreheads.
Now, why does the Most High seal you in your forehead? Because that's where you live. You live in you all this other stuff. My hands, then this my cup, and then this that fist. If I have to go upside somebody's head, he gave me that. All this other stuff is he gave me some legs. It's like these are my wheels, but I live here. See, that's the mistake we make as men and women. We don't take the time out to get to meet the person that lives upstairs. We're too busy looking at all these other body parts, and we miss out on the real. Sometimes you find out the person that you with is plumb out their mind. But it's too late because you was caught up in what? That big behind. And your sister was caught up in the big arms. So you didn't know that this dude, I'm preaching right now. You didn't know that this dude was messed up in the mind. By the time you realized homie was messed up, you couldn't get rid of him. And you couldn't get rid of her. And it ain't funny no more what these people are doing. So take your time. Find out who's upstairs, who's living up on the 3rd floor, man. Save yourself a whole lot of drama. Let's keep going.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 5. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man.
Now watch this. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
Wait a minute. The only weapons on this earth that can inflict pain on you, not kill you, but make you wish you were dead, is what? Chemical warfare. So John is a 1st century man. And he is describing the 20th century and beyond to the best of his ability. He said, man, that cat got hit by that thing that came out that looked like a scorpion thing, and he looked like he wanted to die, but he can't die. So in his mind, death is fleeing him. Death ain't fleeing him. That's those phosphorus bombs that Russia's dropping on the Ukraine. Russia burning them over there now. Dropping phosphorus bombs, dropping them oxygen bombs that's pulling all the oxygen out of the area. Hey, man, hitting them cats from the sea with missiles, bombs. When I was in the reserves, they would take you into a room, or 30 to 40 of you, and to make you take off you had a gas mask on, make you take the gas mask off and throw tear gas in there. Hey, man, your eyes watered, your nose ran, you was in so much pain, you couldn't see, and all you was trying to do was get out there, but they had the door shut. That is in World War I, they dropped ammonia rounds, bombs in the trenches, and the people died from that. What's coming on the earth right now, you got to understand, Russia has the most nuclear weapons on the earth. More than the United States. Why do you think the United States ran in there to save the day for the Ukrainians? They don't want no smoke, man. Ain't that what the young people say? You don't want no smoke. Well, now this is the West, and I'm gonna prove it to you. This is Western Europe. This is the European Common Market, which is 10 kings or 10 horns. NATO, because they overlap. Some of the members that's in NATO are also members in the European Union. And guess what? I hate to say this. And they high priest is dude. They're sitting down there at the Vatican. We're going to prove that to you too. And we're going to also prove to you, show you that America is on the wrong side of the 7th trumpet. That's the best way I can describe this. I'm gonna read this one more time, but before we go further, read verse 11 again.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon.
All right, who knows Abaddon? It ain't Abaddon. It's Abada. Don means Don. When you see the N or the M on the extension, it's saying this dude been around. It's like past tense, or it's like how do you? Well, anyway, it's Abadah. Abadah in Aramaic means destroyer, prisoner, or captive. In this particular instance, this is a destroyer. This is the same dude that ran through Egypt on the night of the Passover. The book said, if you put the blood over your doorpost, I will now suffer Abaddon or the destroyer to come into your houses, your bayet, your houses. It's the same dude. So it said they had a king over them. This is the king of the bottomless pit, right? We're talking about who? The same dude.
Wow.
Now watch this, how it plays out. How the Lord set this thing in the book of Revelation that he told the prophet, write it on tables and make it plain that he might run that readeth it. The Lord that made this plain. Let's leave here real quick and go to Revelation 13. No, Revelation 17 and 1. And we almost through. Revelation 17 and 1. See? I thought we weren't going to be able to do this lesson because Satan had hit my computer system. It wasn't working. But go ahead.
No, this is beautiful, brother. This is really beautiful.
Right, praise the Lord. Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
You only got 2 types of churches as far as the God of Israel is concerned. You got the bride, and you got that prostitute they call the hoe or the whore. So this woman, whoever this church is, she is postulating herself as the bride. Now, the Lord said, no, this is not the bride. This is the woman that's standing on the corner selling her body. But she's trying to present herself to the rest of the world. I am the bride. No, you are not. So the Lord had to call her what? He said, that's a hoe. Lord, here goes the Lord.
I knew you were doing it.
Lord, I'm going to speak on your behalf right now. Lord said, that is not my woman. My woman wouldn't be standing on the corner like that. We're talking about a church now, huh? So now this church is postulating, I'm the Lord's girlfriend. I'm his woman. No, you're not. Now watch this now. Skip down to verse, go ahead, read verse 3.
Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit unto the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now this prostitute who claims to be the Lord, the bride, y'all know the scriptures. Y'all know them letters well, it's a letter basically. Paul writes a letter and he says, hey man, I present you as a chaste virgin, as a bride to the Lord. This woman's a prostitute. You know what that means? She is not a virgin. So now the book said the beast that the woman was riding had 7 heads and 10 horns. Let's see who this church is that the Lord called a whore. Skip down to verse 9.
Verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Hey, wait a minute. It's only one church in the world that sits on 7 mountains or 7 hills. And guess what that church is, y'all? It's the Vatican. And what is she doing? She has been promoting herself since we've had the ability to reason that she was what? The church. Lord said, not so. Hold the brakes. Now, why is this important? Because now we're going to show you. Them 10 horns is the European common market. That's in the news every day. So what is the religion of the European Union, the common market. It is Catholicism. This ain't no attack on no religion. We're just teaching the script.
That's right.
We don't believe in racism, and we don't believe in dogging other religion. We don't have to do that. We got them things. We got the script. We got it. We them guys. We don't have to bash nobody. We ain't gotta. We don't. It's not necessary.
Exactly.
You want to get down with us? Bring the noise. Bring that truth.
That's right.
And that's how we
for
get
our
out.
people edification.
That's all we on. We ain't on nothing else. So if you out there and you think you ain't got nothing, because I have never been known to bash any religion, any nothing. I don't care about that, because I learned that those are the tools that are used to quiet the truth.
Exactly.
So we don't have time for that. But anyway, let's get back to this business. So this church that's sitting on seven hills is the Vatican. Let's see where she got her power from. And so if she is riding the beast, the European Common Market, and remember, the European Common Market members and the NATO members interchange. If you're in NATO, you probably more likely you in the European Union. If you're in the European Union, you in NATO. That's how they get in. I call them the good old boys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to Revelation 13 real quick. 13 and 1. Revelation 13 and 1. I can use another bottle of that water.
All right.
Revelation 13 and 1. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
The woman, wait a minute. We're looking at the same situation. The woman has 7 heads and 10 horns. The 10 horns is who, y'all? European Union, right? Common market. Then we got this woman that was sitting on this a church with 7 hills, right? The Vatican. Keep reading.
And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Now see, he had 10 crowns on, right? Hold a place right here. Go back to Revelation 17, and we're going to show you what these 10 crowns are to prove to you that this is the EU. Revelation 17 and verse 12. Revelation 17 and 12. We're coming back to Revelation 13. Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
So now we know, let's go back to Revelation the 13th chapter. Now we know that them 10 horns are 10 kings. And what 10 kings are these? The European Union. In them days, they were kings. Any man that ran whole nations, now they presidents, dictators, prime ministers. But as far as this Apostle John was concerned, whoever called the shot is the king. Pick it up in verse 2.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So
this king of the bottomless pit, the angel of the bottomless pit, the dragon, gave the Vatican and the European Union its seat, power, and great authority. And they're going to attack the West first. But they don't realize that they've been led down the road by the false prophet and the fallen angel, because they don't believe in the scriptures. They don't have a teacher. Remember at the beginning of this lesson, I said the worst thing you can have is what? Some individual that calls himself self-taught. I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm gonna tell you just like this. At a time like this, you need a real teacher, a bona fide teacher. You don't need a novice. He means well. He's full of zeal. But you need a vet. You need a vet right now.
Mm.
Can I preach?
Preach.
It's what we need. We need a Zakan. We need a Rashi, Zakana, a chief elder. Anyway, I'm getting excited. I need to calm down. So the West is being led by Satan the devil and the European Union and the Vatican. They had this thing sold up. What you talking about, Brother Cummings? There was a time when every nation under the sun, if you was going to do some business, you had to first buy the US dollar, and then you could do business. Now, Russia came out with its own back in the, with the rubles being backed by gold. China's doing business with the ruble. Syria is doing business. Some of the nations in Africa are trying to get their own currency up and going. The Lord has broken. He has begun to bring the Gentiles low right in front of Israel's eyes. But Israel is in so much pain from this captivity, he don't even see that his deliverance is nigh to come. And the Lord is using Russia, the kings of the East, to humble America. America's been brought low. And I'm going to tell you what, I will tell you why she was brought low, but I don't want to impact this brother's channel by telling you the truth. This is what they do now. Anybody that tell the truth, they shut channels down. So we're gonna have to come with our own medium so that you guys can get the rest of it. But anyway, let's close. Let's finish this. Let's go 1 Thessalonians 5:1. You see, I'm careful how I'm talking on your program, brother.
Right. No doubt.
1 Thessalonians 5:1.
Yes, sir. The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
What is America and the European Union been saying? Oh man, we don't want to go to war with Russia. We just giving some arms to the Ukrainians so that they can defend themselves. We don't want no part of that. No direct conflict with the kings of the East, Russia, China, Belarus, Syria, and those about 40 nations in Africa that sympathize with Russia. We don't want no fight. But yet, they're sending tanks over there, HIMARS, consultants, $30 billion in aid. They keep authorizing $1 billion. But what's so odd about this is only Congress can declare war on another nation.
That's right.
Can I preach?
Preach.
And so what this administration has done is they have bypassed Congress by not declaring war. So they are in essence doing the same thing that King David did to Uriah. David put the sword in the hands of the Ammonites. He told Joab, "Hey, put dude over there where all the mighty men are fighting, and y'all retreat from him so they can kill him." The David's man, I didn't kill dude. They did. The Lord said, "No, you put the sword in the Ammonites' hand, Brother David." And so America has put the sword in the Ukrainians' hand, and yet she keeps saying, "We are not attacking Russia." I told you by the time I got through this lesson, I was going to show you that America is attacking Russia, just like the book said. Now, it ain't no straight out face-to-face confrontation yet, but she put that sword in that hand. So as far as the Lord is concerned, America, the West, is attacking Russia. Britain sending tanks, some of the other NATO countries sending tanks and bombs and land and ocean mines for the ocean. They're all contributing to this thing. The 10 toes, man. But let's go a little further in this. This all right, ain't it?
Absolutely.
Let's go a little further in this. Let's go to Revelation 9 and 13. Because we're going to, no, hold on. Yeah, let's go to Revelation 9 and 13 because we want to make this plain to anybody that see this and read this. I mean, see this and hear this because this might be the only time you hear the truth on this channel. Revelation 9 and 13. Go ahead.
The book of Revelations, chapter 9, verse 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before Yahweh, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them.
The only country on this earth that could put 200,000, which is 200 million soldiers on the battlefield is who? China.
China, yeah.
So now we just identified one of the kings of the East and how they're going to pull this thing off. See, China's thing is, we don't care how many bombs, how many nuclear weapons you got. We gonna by the sheer mass of numbers, you can't kill us all. And they might
guess what?
A point, huh?
They just got a deal with Pakistan and about to break one with Afghanistan to put military bases there.
And check this out. That's a good point. But check this out. China had a one-child rule, one birth per parent. Y'all remember that?
Yes, sir.
But just to get ready for this prophecy to come to pass, they just passed a law that each parent can have 2 children now. They getting ready, y'all. That's 1 billion Chinese.
Ooh.
Once they start, once they start having 2 children, do the math. It's gonna be 2 billion of them. Listen, man, this thing is happening. I'm telling y'all, the reason you cannot see or you have not been alerted is because you've been having so much fun. There's a spirit in the earth called fun. Don't you want to have fun? I always ask the question, you had fun on Monday? You had fun on Wednesday? How much fun can you have? You ain't no fun. That's what they say. You ain't no fun. You always say, y'all need guys like me. While you out there having fun, I'm standing on the wall. I'm sitting on that wall, and I see that danger. And the Bible says, if you get a minister, one of your brothers, and you make him the watchman, and he see danger come, and he don't warn you, your blood is going to be on his hand because he saw evil, and he didn't warn the people in the city. We are warning you tonight. We are sounding the trumpet tonight. I feel God in this place. What? Let's keep going. What verse was we in?
We left off at verse 17.
All right, what was that? Revelations what?
9 and 16 we just read.
See, I'm freaking out over here. I done forgot. I did the lesson. I'm like, hey, where am I? Am I in the room? Am I at school? Where am I? You know what I mean? Okay, so now we're at 9. So that 6th trumpet sounded. Let's go see what happened with the 6th vial. The 6th trumpet should bring us a 6th vial of wrath. Let's go to 16, Revelation 16, and let's look at verse 10. Go ahead.
The book of Revelations, chapter 16, verse 10. And the 5th angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain.
Wait a minute. The seat of the beast? Where's the seat of the beast going to be during the tribulation period? Remember what the apostles came to Yeshua while he was sitting on the Mount of Olives. Revelation, Matthew, the 24th chapter, the 1st through the 15th verse. And the book said they came and they asked him privately, which means they was having a private conversation, but Matthew couldn't keep the secret and wrote it in the book. They said, y'all know people like that. You can't tell them nothing. They're going to tell everybody. So it was a private conversation, but Matthew told, and thank God he did. He said, what is the sign of your coming and the end of the world? Y'all know them signs, wars, wars, disease, pestilence. Then he said, in verse 15, he said, when you see the abomination that maketh desolate, set itself up in the holy place, as spoken by Daniel the prophet, whoso readeth, let him understand. That's that great sign. And what sign is that? Right. Third temple in Jerusalem, Yahushua. Right. See, they got you. Oh, it was an earthquake. Oh, it was a tornado. I said, man, I ain't worried about it. They said, why? I said, I'm waiting on that great sign, that third temple. So the Pope has to move to the Vatican. 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 through 6 or something. Paul said, be ye not troubled in spirit or by letter, as that the day of Christ is at hand. For that day cannot come first, except there be a great falling away. We were born into the falling away. We got some folks talking about it's going to be a falling away. Man, the church already fell away from the God of Israel. Why? They're going on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing Christmas, Easter, and Halloween. That's the falling away. When we woke up, we was in the midst of the falling away, y'all. Hear me now. And then he said, and then the man of sin got to go inside the temple, and he's going to declare himself to the world that he is God. So the book said right here, when the fifth angel pours his seal out, and that trumpet is blown, he going to pour his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness. You know what that means? That means Jerusalem is going to get bombed. Because where's the seat of the beast during the tribulation period? In Jerusalem. The third temple, y'all.
That's heavy. Wow.
All you got to do is basic math. Is that right?
That's right.
1 + 1 = 2. Well, it used to. Depends on who on your team. 1 + 1 can equal 1. Okay? But anyway, now remember, when the sixth trumpet sounded, 200 million Chinese. And I'm about to stop saying that because that number consists of the kings of the East. That's all of them, plus the Chinese. Now, but the book said the 4 angels that was in the Euphrates was loosed, so that the way. Now we're gonna read the verse. Let the Bible. Let's read verse 12.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 16, verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
See, somebody said he's slipping. His title was the Kings of the East. Well, you had to wait on it, okay? Check it out. So when that sixth trumpet sound, 200 million Chinese, Russians, North Koreans, they all in cahoots. Belarus, Syria. Interesting fact. Zelensky tried to hold a conference with the kings of with the dictators and the kings of Africa. I think it's 53 or 54 of them. Only 4 showed up. The other 50 stayed at home. This happened a month ago. Those other 50 nations are sympathetic with who? With Russia. And not only Africa, our backyard. The Americas, plural. South America, Central America. Russia doing business with everybody. The Ukrainians have received some technology from the United States Well, they bombed a couple of bridges over in the Ukraine to stop the advance of the Russians. You know what Russia did? Russia used some ghost technology to create ghost bridges. So when their satellite was locking in on a bridge and they bombed the spot, it was a ghost bridge. The real bridge was next door. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy.
You don't believe what I'm saying? You can Google me while I'm talking. These are facts. They building what they call floating bridges. They could build a bridge, a floating bridge. Tanks can cross it the whole nine. They coming across that Euphrates at the seventh trumpet. Why are they coming across at the seventh trumpet? Because they got attacked by the European Union, Satan, the Pope, the United States, and NATO on the fifth trumpet. They responded at the sixth trumpet. Here we come. Y'all want some smoke? Here it is. But remember, they keep saying what? They keep saying peace. Let's go a little further in this. Let's go to Revelations 11 and 14. This is the trumpet that bring the noise. And this is the trumpet that kind of scares me because I still got some spots in my garment. And I'm trying to clean get that garment cleaned up before. That's right. The God of Israel show up. See, if you're honest with yourself, under the sound of my voice, you also got some spots and blemishes out there in the audience. And this trumpet right here is a doom trumpet. And we'll do a lesson another time because I know I talked a lot today, but I got another lesson where we can show you the coming of the Messiah all the way down to 3.5 days before he shows up from the script. But anyway, where we at?
Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
The book of Revelations, chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there was great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of the Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever.
So that seventh trumpet is the one that's going to usher in black rulership. And I'm gonna prove that to you too, because we're gonna rule. See, he gonna take the power from the Gentiles, these European Gentiles, and he gonna give it to the Hebrews. And the Hebrews, or what y'all call black folk, we gonna rule for 1,000 years with our God, and we're gonna prove this to you. Let's go a little further in this.
Teach.
This is the 50th. This is the 50th year. When this seventh trumpet sounds, it is during the year of Jubilee. And we're going to prove this to you. Let's go to Leviticus 25 and 8. I got 3 places after that. Leviticus 25 and 8.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 25 and verse 8. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years. And the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years.
Now, I told you that when that seventh trumpet sound, it's the 50th year. Didn't I say that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's see what Moses say. Keep going.
Verse 9. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. And ye shall hallow the 50th year.
What year?
The 50th year.
Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
And proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family.
When that seventh trumpet, wait a minute now. Verse 9 said you're gonna cause the trumpet of Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. And that is the atonement. Now I can't tell you the exact year that our God, the God of the Hebrews, is coming back. We can't give the exact year, but I know from Moses, right? Moshe's Taba, his writings, that he coming back on the Day of Atonement, on the 10th day of the 7th month, in what year? The 50th year. And then what's going to happen in that year? Every man got to go back to his own possession. My possession is written in stone. The land of Israel or Yisrael belongs to me.
That's right.
And when the God of Israel show up, he giving it back.
That's right.
Because he swore Oshaba. He swore an oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give us the land and to be a God unto us. Can I preach?
Preach.
See, they said they thought all I knew was Hebrew. That's what they thought. See, I had to learn that. I had to learn to play slow. Know that? But anyway, we go now. You say, well, how we know that Russia is the army of the Lord during the Battle of Armageddon, World War III? We're gonna let the Lord tell you out of his own mouth by the mouth of the prophet Joel. Let's go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. We got two places after this.
Joel, the 2nd chapter. Let me know what verse, sir.
Yeah, you know what? Won't you help me out? I don't know which verse. No, I'm just kidding. Joel 2:1.
Yes, sir.
Joel 2:1.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion. And
what trumpet do you think that is? Now that trumpet has to be what? That's got to be the 7th trumpet.
7th trumpet, yeah.
We're talking about the same time. But go ahead.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
He ain't talking about one day. He talking about one day to the Lord is what? 1,000 years. So what day is he talking about? The Sabbath rest. He's talking about that 1,000-year reign with the Messiah. The day of the Lord is at hand. He ain't talking about no Tuesday, no Wednesday, no Thursday. He talking about, I'm about to come down. I'm about to settle this quarrel of who's gonna run this earth. And y'all, he put it like this. He said, y'all don't act like Abraham. I said, what? You knew Abraham? He said, dude, you ain't even 50 years old, and you knew Abraham. Yeshua said, Abraham saw my day, and he rejoiced to see it. Hallelujah. What day did Abraham? Abraham saw all the way to what? To the 1,000-year rest of the Messiah and the black rulership of this planet. He saw that. That's something to rejoice about, ain't it, y'all?
God, that's right.
I feel this thing. I laugh and joke, but I feel this.
Right.
Verse 2.
The book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 2. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall any be more after it, even to the years of many generations. Verse 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them.
I don't know if you've seen the footage coming out of the Ukraine. It was a Garden of Eden, And then Russia ran through that, man. It looked like somebody dropped a crack bomb. You know how when crack hit the black community, and how all our neighborhoods look like somebody ran through there with tanks and guns. That's how Ukraine look right now. But skip down to verse 10.
Verse 10. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great.
What are you talking about? You mean the Lord got a flesh army? Because we know he ain't talking about us, because they won't let us have guns without license. And them little guns, 9 millimeters. You know what I'm saying? 9 millimeters, 380 automatics. You might get an AK-15 somewhere, but you ain't got no real guns, and you don't have an army.
Slingshot.
So he's talking about somebody. He's talking about another army. Skip down to verse 20.
The book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 20. But I will remove from off. Excuse me. Let me start over. Salakia.
Hey, you know what? I like that. That's only like your really second mistake this whole night. I've been counting, okay? I've been counting. Go ahead.
The book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 20.
Right.
But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea.
I don't want to read all that. I just want to show you who his army is. His army is the northern army. And if you go as far north as you can go, you end up in Russia. So the kings of the east is what? Russia, China. And the Lord just told you, Russia is his what? Is his army. So Satan's army is going to be the European Union, led by the Pope, NATO, and if I had the ear of the administration, I would tell them, you are on the wrong side of the seventh trumpet. If I was you, I leave them dudes alone in Russia. They down there by the Baltic Sea. Your dominion is the Atlantic Ocean. Why are you all the way at the Baltic Sea and you don't realize the Lord is with this dude, man? I don't care. I tell people all the time, I don't care how you feel about Russia. Russia's ancient name is Gog and Magog. Russia's going to be around on Judgment Day. When the Father come down, you heard it here. And I can show you that's another lesson altogether. But Russia's going to be around on the 8th day. The 8th day is when the Father come down with New Jerusalem. When that 8th day hit, Russia going to still be here. I don't know about the European Union. Because the book say not a whole lot of folk is going to escape the Valley of Megiddo or Armageddon. But I know for a fact that Russia is going to escape. We'll do that lesson again. We'll do that lesson when they bring me back from all this talking.
God.
Let's go to Zechariah 14:1. We got one more place and we're done. And we're going to show you when the Most High going to put this thing back into the hands of the black nations. We ruled the world for the first 5,600, 5,700 years. We've only been out of rulership of the last 250 years. But since they control the classrooms and they control the history books, they're trying to make it seem like they've been ruling. No, we ruled from Adam all the way up to 1800, the fall of the black European kings. And so, our little embarrassment's only been about 250 years. But if you go back and look at how long we ruled, it ain't so bad, is it?
That's right.
How many people can say they ruled the entire planet for 58, 57, 5,800 years? We got some folk running right here postulating themselves as great people, and some of these ethnic groups have only been speaking. I want you to quote me on this. Some of these ethnic groups have only been speaking a language or a tongue for 1,000 years. And we've been speaking a tongue for 6,000 years. We don't deal with that though. Anyway, Zechariah 14:1. Go ahead.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 14, verse 1. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee.
Wait a minute. What day is that?
The
That's
day of the
Mount
Lord.
Seir rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
See? Go ahead.
Verse 2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city.
Skip down. Yeah, go ahead. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, and when he fought in the day of battle. Verse 4. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south.
So when he touched down, he gonna touch down on the Mount of Olives, and the mountain gonna split, and the eastern part of the mountain is gonna cleave to his feet, and there's a reason for that, because the Pope and the beast gonna be down there, and he gonna make sure that they don't get off that mountain. Y'all understand? Dude, why do you think the last Pope retired? They playing musical hot seat right now at the Vatican. They know. Can I preach? Can I preach?
Preach. Nobody was sitting that last.
They know the say it, man. Go ahead.
Nobody wants to sit in that damn seat.
They don't want to be the last dude. They don't want to be the last one sitting in that seat when this angry God of Israel show up. When he came the first time, he was the Lamb of God. This time he's gonna be what? The Lion of the tribe of Judah. Don't nobody want to see that dude? So they doing this right now. And this new Pope is talking about retiring too.
I don't want the job. They don't pay enough.
11th chapter, Daniel said that this guy is gonna know dark sentences. That means he gonna know script. They know what's up. Dude saying, hey man, this ain't worth it. Because whoever get caught sitting in that seat, the last dude, he gonna be cast alive into the lake of fire. I make hamburgers for my puppy. And every once in a while, I might have some water that it go to pop it. It feel like little needles that grease when it hits you. If you can't take getting popped by grease, you know you won't get thrown into the lake of fire while you still alive. Barbecued Pope.
a Pope chop sandwich.
Hey man, I'm choosing my words, man. I'm working on this, right? So I don't offend them people. Verse 5.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 14, and verse 5. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains.
I do too.
For the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azel. Yea, ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And the Lord, my Yahweh, shall come, and all the saints with thee.
Hey, let me ask you a question, because I like the way you get down. You kind of smooth. and I ain't never had nobody read like you. I'm gonna have to steal you from this dude. Hey, but check this out. What was his name? What was his name when he introduced himself? When Moses, what did he tell Moses? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob knew him as. So what would that? So his name was what? It was Al Shaddai. Al Shaddai. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because our grandmamas and big mama them used to watch a show called The Dark Shadow. Al Shaddai or Al Shadow, and the dark shadow. It was subliminal, the dark God.
Wow. That's powerful.
Come on, man. You gotta watch these guys. They playing. They running the script in front of us. But let's close the piece out.
Use that one right there.
So when the God of Israel come back, he gonna have the saints with him. What does that also tell you? He gonna stand on the Mount of Olives. He bringing the saints with him. They didn't go back to heaven. They came down to Jerusalem, and there's a reason for that. Skip down to verse 12.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
What saith the scriptures, brethren? Or should I say, Ahaya, brothers?
Right.
What saith the scriptures? No man can what? See God and live. So they go, when they come down to the valley of Megiddo, Armageddon, and the God of Israel descend in the midst, and they see him, guess what? It's a wrap. Eyes gonna consume away in your socket. Flesh gonna fall off your skin. Tongue gonna consume away in your mouth. Why? No man can see God and live. It should have been like Moshe. He should have hid his face. But anyway, verse 14.
Verse 14. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem.
Wait a minute, Judah? Oh, Lord say, hey, when I come down to handle this business, you can get some too. Can I preach? This is cold, man. You got your little brother with you. You beat somebody up, and you try to teach your little brother how to fight. Go and hit him a couple times.
Yeah, get a lick in. Get a lick in.
Get a feel for
That's
that.
Right. We're going to get back big brother Moses.
Come on, man. Listen, man. They told y'all it was going to be good tonight. Listen, verse 16.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
Listen, y'all. This is the good news of the gospel. They don't never preach this. Hey, man, when our God show up and he go down to Jerusalem and sit on the throne, I want y'all to hear this. Jerusalem is going to be the new United Nations. You got to come up, man. If you don't come down here and get your marching order for the year, you ain't getting no rain.
That's
try
power.
running the country without rain.
That's power.
Woo.
It's going to be the new UN. Ain't going to be no more, like 1927, they had the League of Nations. What no black folk admitted. No black nations was in the League of Nations. 1947, no black nations at the United Nations. 1955, 1957, they started admitting the black nations. Now, but the Lord put the fix in that the new UN, we don't even have to apply for membership. Because our God is going to be the head of the new UN. We are going to be the ambassadors from the kingdom of God. We're going to go out into the world as his ambassadors and say, listen, man, that dude that you read about in Revelations, the first chapter, the 9th through the 13th verse, hair like lamb's wool, he's sitting on the throne of David. He won't talk to you. You need to come down. And I was also told to tell you, if you don't appear, no rain this year.
Mm-hmm. You know what I like to a professor that's hey brother, you're in the spirit, and
God,
that just let me know the power that we're going to have, and there will be no voting.
Nothing,
ain't no
man.
voting, no more
We don't
marching.
have to go. We ain't got to. We have a saying in the ghetto: "What's understood need not be told." Some things we're not even going to talk about tonight. We don't have to demean anybody. We don't do none of that stuff. We ain't got to throw no rocks. We just gonna give it to you like this. We're gonna give you the good news of the gospel. The Lord loves Israel.
that's right.
And he gonna put all this under your feet. The sun, the moon, the stars, everything. But let me close this out. Let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel 7 and 24. We're gonna close it out. And I'm gonna hit you with one more place, and that's it. I promise. I'm done. And I normally don't talk this much. But it's by the Spirit. You know that?
That's right.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Daniel 7 and 24. Now, watch how the Lord said. Now, the table's been set. I set a pretty good table today, don't y'all think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I told you we got to have this astonishing finish, right? A crescendo, a zenith, like Muhammad Ali said. Hey!
That's right.
7 and 24. Go ahead.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall rise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
Now, we're still talking about them 10 horns. So we know that's the EU in the future. But this is a different set of horns, but I ain't want to focus on that. But go ahead.
Verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
Who was it that changed the Sunday law, the Sabbath, from Saturday to Sunday? It was the Pope. It was Constantine and the Pope at that time in 323 AD at the Council of Nicaea. He gonna think to change what? Times and laws. He's changing times how? By controlling the history books. I can control the history books. I can control the timelines. And if I control, and I want y'all to hear this, if I control the paintbrush, I can control the reality. What they call the Renaissance, when they went all over Europe painting all the black objects white.
Yep.
The greatest weapon that the white Europeans used was a white was a white paintbrush. Hey, you ever had somebody pull a gun? I had a gun pulled on me before. And the first time I had a pistol pulled on me, I screamed, "Ah!" And I was a gangster at the time too, right? I had never been shot at or shot. And then I could imagine it was gonna hurt, right? So I screamed. And the reason I tell the story is because we were supposed to be gangsters. So I called some of the guys and I said, man, these guys ran over here and stuck me up. And I said, look, I have to admit, I screamed. That's how ashamed I was, because we were supposed to be, hey, we there. You want some of this? Anyway, could you imagine if somebody walked up on you with a white paintbrush, and if you had any wisdom, do you know you would scream?
You would scream.
The dude is trying to change your reality.
Right.
Man,
You got the power.
You know the Lord put something on me today, and I didn't have my shot of vodka. So the Lord's like, I need you of sound mind, buddy. But keep going. So in 323 AD, this came to pass. But go ahead. You had verse 25 and the conjunction at the conjunction and.
That's right. And they shall be given into his hand until a time
1 year,
and times
2 more years,
and the dividing of time.
a half a year. That's 3.5 years. That's a tribulation period. But go ahead.
Verse 26. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. Verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
Wait a minute. Did you hear that? So when he make that move, and there's another scripture where he said he gonna trample Esau. He gonna be stomping him. But we'll do that if they ever invite me back, because I talked a long time tonight. He said the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom of the whole heaven gonna be given to who? To the people of the Most High. That's me and you. That ain't dude in Jerusalem. He can't trace his lineage back to Abraham. His lineage is traced back to the Khazars of Europe, Eastern Europe.
Right.
Can I preach?
Preach.
We ain't got to hate on nobody. I was in a Starbucks one day, sitting down translating, and the Edomite walked up to me and said, how come y'all don't like us? I turned and looked at him because I knew it was a setup, right? I said, listen, man, we don't care about none of that. We don't care about who got the land. We don't care about who's in the land. All we trying to do is teach our people. So you have a good day. You know why? Those are set up moves to destroy the truth. One little word they use that kills the truth: racism, racist rant. We don't need that in Israel. If you're out there and you're doing it, stop.
That's
Just teach the truth.
That's right.
The book said, with loving kindness, you shall draw water out of the wells of salvation. That's what we about, man. We about that. We about that other thing if we have to be. That's why the Lord talked about a two-edged sword. First side is for peace, and the other one is for war. Hopefully, we'll never have to use it. We can use it if we have to, but what we want to show up and say, we are ambassadors for the kingdom. You understand? An ambassador don't use profanity on YouTube.
That's right.
You don't stand on the corner. We are ambassadors. We don't curse out other ethnic groups. We don't have to. We whoop you with this word.
Teach.
Right.
Let the word do its job. We got a sword. Let that sword divide. Let it cut what? Let it divide to asunder to the marrow.
Right.
Stop all this. Y'all giving us a black. Y'all making us look bad.
Right.
That's
right. So the kingdom is going to be given to you. This is it. We're going to show you how long you're going to rule. One last place, and I promise this is over. Revelation, the 20th chapter, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 4. That's it. No, verse 1. Now is that it? Hold on. Verse 4. That's it. Go ahead.
Verse 4. So this is the book.
We're gonna read one verse, so to give you some hope out there. Go ahead.
The book of Revelations, chapter 20, and verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
So y'all see, everything I said came to pass. Hey, when them kings of the east come across, I want y'all to hear this. This is my conclusion. I didn't go to seminary, so I don't know what that word is they use. But anyway, this is my conclusion. What you all don't understand is that everybody is rooting against Russia. But your Salaka, no, your Sila, your deliverance is tied into the kings of the east coming across that Euphrates. When them kings of the east come across that Euphrates, how do you show us that? Look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Y'all don't know.
Man.
Hey, before I get the thank you and blessings for your presence, man. Hey, I see you in the weight room, Mark. I see you in the weight room. I said,
right
there. Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
I said, I'm gonna wait in the end and get him.
Hey, man, I ain't got no choice. You know, I tell people, when you talk a lot of smack, you got to be in shape. You know, in this gospel we preach, man, you got to be in shape. You got to be able to do it. You got to be able to do it all. Okay.
Hey, that's right. Hey, look, that's funny you say that, Lee, because me and the bar, we was talking and saying we was all talking like what we got to do, continue to do actually.
That's right. Stay healthy, work out.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, stay in shape.
I'm doing. Hey, man, listen, man. You know, I was supposed to take a job teaching school, and I didn't take the job because I said, if I take this job, it's gonna kill my research. And then I told myself, I said, Lord been taking care of me through the whole flick, the whole movie. So why switch up now?
That's right.
And I was gonna put the yoke on, and I had talked to the brother. We talked about it. Hey, man, your name, you don't realize this, man. Your name mean elder. You put the Zayn in front of your name, Zakana means elder, man. But anyway, you look that up. But anyway, check this out. I was gonna put the yoke on to go. I needed some money for the trans on my Benz. The trans went out.
Right.
I went through the training, and I was like, okay, you will come in, you're gonna teach Hebrew for us. And the day that I was supposed to go put the yoke, I couldn't do it. I'm so used to having my own stuff that I could not go work for somebody else. And the other brother is offended. I'm gonna have to apologize because I left him holding the bag. But anyway, to conclude this lesson tonight, these are the things that are currently happening. When you see, what's the best way I can? The elite speak a different language than we speak. So you're hearing words that are going across the Atlantic, across the Pacific, across the Baltic Seas, across the Mediterranean. You're hearing all this verbiage. It's not aimed at you. The kings of the earth are speaking to themselves, and we're hearing the conversations. So the Lord said, "Hey, you know what? I love my people. I don't want them to get caught up in the net." So the Lord sent me tonight to show you this is what's going on. So we sounded the trumpet tonight, and y'all want part 2 to this? Get with the brother, and we'll do this. Hey, visit the Negro. I got a book that it's not the dictionary, but I got a book that spells this out step by step. It's called the 7 Seal, and the 7 Seal. I think I haven't been to my bookstore in a minute, but the 7 Seal, we got ebooks for that too. But you can go ahead and get that, and we get the ebook to you. I think we even got a hardcover. I have to look, but check out the Negro Question Bookstore.equid.com and get the 7 Seal. I wrote that book in 3 languages. It's been written in English, French, and Spanish. And so you got a homie that speaks Spanish, hey, run that. You got another homie that speaks French, run that. We ain't playing with them.
That's right.
So that's all I got, man.
Hey, Elder Qanath, can I say a word real quick? I just want to say, I think Elder Qanath would agree with me on this, that we heard many breakdowns from multiple elders, but I'm going to be honest, Elder Lee Cummings, ain't none of them touch what you brought tonight, man. You brought that fire, and it was just pain.
Hey, he was with us, wasn't he? The book
absolutely.
said 2 and 3, he was with us.
Yeah, the spirit was on you, and I just want to say thank you. This message was right on. I mean, man, the spirit was working.
And guess what? And we didn't what? We didn't insult nobody.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So go ahead, Qanath.
Yeah, great lesson. Anybody agree or don't agree? Let's talk about it offline. But other than that, man, it's great, and I could tell it took a lot of study and dedication to the Most High. You know, and one thing I could see about you, you're very astute in things that you do. You know, very determined. I see that in your book work. I see it in the love of your people, right? Just to study. People don't know, just to study takes time and energy. You know, the brother works out. He's a good brother of all. You know, so a lot of people don't understand that. So I would say, hey, man, I clap for you, brother.
Absolutely.
Listen, if you could type it in, put your Cash App in. I'm not gonna say anybody gonna give you the money, but you know,
I need 3,000. I'm just playing.
Hey man, I'm about to put $3 on it, man.
hey, remember when I first met you? I said, man, you look like Snoop. I said, you look like Snoop Dogg, man. He said, hey, man. But listen, guys, I gotta go. I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to come on your platform.
Yes,
sir. But I believe the script, you know, and it's a funny thing about this script. Our God had it written in such a way that if you know how to connect the dots, the book tells the story by itself. Mm-hmm. We don't have to guess.
Right.
All right, man. Hey, man, love everybody.
Hey, much love.
I want to talk to you. We still in the works on what we talked about. Things take time, but Most High blessed. Yeah. Well, we still.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm coming to see you. You know I'm coming to see you. All right, yeah, you know it's already just a done dollar. You know that, right?
Right. No doubt. No doubt. So Most High blessed. Hey, look, and everybody that's in the listening audience, man, thanks for watching. Thanks for the love. You know, whether you agree or disagree, just thanks for watching, man. You know, let's support each other in things that we have or don't have understanding on. Let's get together, like the Most High say, and work it out. But hey, Star, Lima, Wiz One, Yehuda, you name it, everybody on here. Excuse me. We try to get it. Midwest, Tim, you know, anybody I missed, Most High bless. You want to say anything?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I just wanted to say all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. Nothing but love and respect to the F.O.P.E family, Star Lima, Weezy One Love, Midwest, Elder Yehuda, my man Tim Jacobs. What's going on, King? Everybody, man, nothing but love. And I just thank the Most High for the message that came through today, because the wars and the rumors of wars, they're starting to escalate. So this was right on time, y'all. Our salvation is drawing nigh. So with that, I'm going to give it right back to you, Elder. Go ahead.
No doubt. And also the people who come from other channels who may not believe in everything we believe in, you know, shalom to you too. You know, and by the way, Lahab and I believe the bar, and maybe someone else, Most High will, he's going to be doing a class this Sunday. We talked today, had a long conversation. And Friday or Saturday, I got two other elders coming on, and I suspect their class is going to be fire like this one was. You know, and brothers and sisters, y'all not going to believe this, but he left off, and I told him we was having a class. But Sarnetta was in the background, right? I could see him, right, taking notes and going like that. Like, I'm not going to make a foot. I'm not going to say he's making a foot, but he was in the background listening and agreeing. You know, I just found it funny. You know, and I got a witness on it because I told Shashan, look, you ain't going to lead us. That's why Sham came in the room. So that I was learning. You know, and I'm sure he probably wanted me to come on the platform, which I told him I'd arrange, you know, but he has to talk to somebody with some form of respect and knowledge. And the only person I see right now is either Isha or Jabari. So with that, we're not going to end with no music because obviously my brother Shasham is not on right now. So Most High bless. Keep supporting us loudly, quietly, however you want to do it, you know, and go look at that video, the interview on Sarnetta channel. And all you other brothers who don't want to answer to your bull crap, right? Trying to get men and women to worship you, you know, your time coming too, man. Your time coming too, man. Coming to the fullness of Christ, man. Love your brethren. All right. And I gave you a week to zit, right? Because she's a zit right now. Y'all won't even debate that or discuss that chart, you know, or the sit behind down. So with that, I say shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we out of here, man.